Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Fans React Friday. As you can see, we've all been passing the hosting around, so it's now my turn to host. So bear with me, everyone. But I'm glad to say that I've been joined by the Three Musketeers again. Dom, how are you, mate? You well?
I'm well, thank you very much. How are you, mate?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. And then, of course, Mr. Johnny Hawley. How are you, mate?
Yeah, living the dream, mate. Living the dream. Happy to be here and happy to be alive.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Could have put it any better if I wanted to. So, well, there we go. Unfortunately, it's just us three tonight. I've seen a bit of stick on Twitter from people saying, where are the regulars? But I think we've all
been
the
regulars now
for a while, I must admit. So, to that fella, I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to put up with us three. So, anyway, another busy week in the life of Sunderland. Never a boring week, of course. So there's only one place to start. Oh, but actually, before I say that, I do want to say that is the return of the quiz tonight, which Dom has kindly prepared for us this evening. I can say that Johnny and I we haven't looked at the answers, so we are going to play, and Dom's going to do that.
I'm actually going to host this time. It might,
yeah,
it won't be as bad as the last one because I'll actually be here.
I was going to say, I remember
questions.
the last time you did one, you got a bit of stick for it, Dom.
Well, because I didn't know one. I sent Matthew the notes, right? Like, here's all the answers, here's all the stuff. He didn't even read them. I was like, it explains every question. So don't worry, I'll be a good host. I'll be a good game show host.
Well, there we go. We'll find out in about half an hour's time whether that's true or not. But let's get cracking, shall we? A very, very interesting week in the life of Sunderland, of course, as we would know nothing less. And where other to start than, of course, a 2-2 draw with QPR. So, bit of an interesting one, really. Bit of an interesting game. Sort of looked like we looked all right for the first half, and then second half it looked like we just took our foot off the gas, really. So, Dom, I'll come to you first, mate. What were your sort of makings on the game?
To be honest, I thought that we had it all wrapped up about 20 minutes ago. I thought, all right, we'll just see the rest of the game out, and then in classic Sunderland fashion, whenever we show a bit of confidence in ourselves, we just go balls it up. To be honest, I think this is the popular opinion here that we played quite well, and I think if we got another goal, we would have had it wrapped up completely. I didn't think, for the vast majority, I know we lost Ballard very early, and that is a massive, massive blow to the team. I think it's only 8 weeks. I'm not quite sure on that, but hopefully he doesn't rush himself because he is a big, big player in our squad. I thought overall we barely gave Lyndon Dykes a sniff in. I said before that he doesn't really worry me against our back line, but the person who did worry me, Ilias Chair, did prove to be the difference. You could argue there was a little bit of luck in it, but when you think about it, we did have to make that foul for the free kick because they would have just been clean through. It was a spectacular free kick. Let's not lie to ourselves. I don't think he could have got it any further in the corner if he tried. The second goal was just something I've never seen before in the flesh. I was there when we were 2-0 up against Crystal Palace all those years ago. And with the last kick of the game, Benteke wins it. I remember it, and I thought, I'll never see anything quite like this.
Tore mine is that, man. That ruined my birthday, that did.
I ruined your birthday. I ruined my holiday. So, of that. No, and I remember seeing that and thinking, this is never going to happen. I refuse to see this happen again. But lightning does, in fact, strike twice, because even though it was a point, it did. Mentally, it felt like a loss because of the fact it was a keeper who scored it and the fact that it was so late on. And just for cherry on top, insult to injury, he had to go pull off a blinding save at the other end where, to be honest, I think any other day that would have been the winner, to be honest. At first, because I sit in the roker end, it looked like he just skied it. It looked like he just completely crumbled under the pressure. And then I watched the replays back and you can see that the keeper saves, and I just thought, if you're going to go score a last-minute equaliser and then do that, fair enough. Like, it was clearly your day. You clearly had your Weetabix, and I don't think, for a QPR point of view, because I saw a lot of fans saying that they thought they were going to lose it. So I think it's the thought of QPR will take it, massive point for them, and it feels like 2 points dropped.
I think it does. I mean, it almost feels like we feel like the other way around, as in the result we had against sort of Sheffield United. It feels like a draw, and then that game against QPR, I felt like we lost that game. But obviously the results were the other way around. But just the way that the feelings were after the game, very, very a bit strange. But Johnny, I mean, another 2 goals conceded in the last 10 minutes of a game, and indeed in Fergie time. I mean, it's pretty fair to say that it was 2 chances, 2 goals really that they took. Obviously we talked a little bit about Ilias Chair before the match and how he proved to be such, a class act really, and sort of very annoying in one way. What was your sort of take on it, Johnny?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the match because I was at work, but obviously I've seen, the highlights and that back and read all the crack about the game. From the sounds of it, we did play quite well, and it's one of them where I don't know how many times we've said it before and we'll say it this season. Before the game, I'd have took a point there, but like you say, it's the manner of the defeat that just makes it feel like you've lost the game. It has to go down as 2 points dropped, I think, because we were cruising by all accounts in that first half. I mean, it was 2-0. Probably could have been 3 if we'd been a bit sharper and a bit more clinical. I don't think, like you say, it was sort of 2 shots, 2 goals, very smash and grab from them. To be honest, the only thing that really worries us about it, because a goalkeeper scoring a last-minute equaliser, when's that going to happen again? Like, it's so Sunderland to concede that. But it's a bit of a freak. A direct free kick. Obviously, Dom, you made the point that they would have broke on us had we not took them down. But you make a tactical foul there, thinking, well, at least they won't get the goal. He's gone and banged it in. Yeah. So I think on most days that game we do win. So it's not the result in isolation that worries us, but it's the fact that it doesn't feel like an Alex Neil side's result, if you know what I mean. Like last season, we were the team scoring late goals and pushing to the 90th minute, 95th minute. We were defensively really solid. We were tight, hard to break down. And yeah, they haven't broke us down per se. It wasn't sort of a couple of open play masterpieces. But that's the only part that really concerns me. I think them sort of goals can happen. When you step up a division, you're going to have moments of quality from the opposition that you're not ready for because you've spent the season playing inferior teams. Like you say, we spoke about Chair before the game. He's a good player. We knew they were going to have quality, but overall, it's in isolation. You look at it on paper, sort of dispassionately, and you think it's a good result for Sunderland. They've come up, newly promoted, got a draw against a decent side. It's just when you view it through the lens of being 2-0 up, cruising, and then being pegged back. But I don't think, overall, not too worried, but just it does sting.
Oh, it does, and I mean, of all, like you say, it's just typical Sunderland, isn't it? To concede, 95th minute or something or whatever.
Yeah.
Goalie. But to be fair to him, it was a cracking header. I mean, what a header.
Yeah, just on that, actually, I've seen Patterson get a little bit of stick from people for that goal because if you watch when he, the ball comes in and he sort of goes to come out and try and claim it and then realises it's too far and then he sort of backpedals a bit. But I think even if he'd been on the line, it was such like a perfect looping header into that far corner. I think he'd have still struggled to get to it. Like Peter Crouch in his pomp would have been proud of that one. Never mind a second division goalie. Yeah.
Saw the highlight and I thought, bloody hell, any number 9 would be happy with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous. Fair play to him. But, it's one of them things, isn't it? Second balls that seem to be a little bit of a problem. That sort of second phase of possession, that ball, we clear it, comes out to Chair, doesn't it? Up against Gucci. Gucci gets sold, ball in, and, obviously Dieng scores. So, like you say, it's a bit of a sore one to take, but I thought sort of first half, I thought we played pretty well, and I think for the majority of the match we dominated them. But you know, it's just typical Sunderland. Do a Sunderland and concede the game like that. But I mean, we'll come on a little bit later to see if there's any panic stations just yet. But I'm going to quickly drop into the live chat and see who is here. David Joblin, good evening. Acacia's here. Hello, Acacia. Ben Carr is hosting Blame Him. What's that about?
Starting a minute late, mate. What's this amateur hour? What's going on? I can't...
Oh, I apologise, everyone. We got Patrick in here, DJ Sizzler Watson, Christopher Younger, Adam French is in, Dave the Rave. 2-0 on Saturday. That would be very nice, Dave. So thank you for joining. If you've got any thoughts about what we're going to talk about, please don't be shy. Pop them in, and I'm sure we will have a little chat about something. Craig says, "Where's Big Shawnee Middleton?" Well, he's obviously not here, Craig. He's working. A lot of people, you know, do that sort of thing nowadays.
You're stuck with us now, so deal with it.
Unfortunately, you know, it's just been us three that have only been the ones willing to do it. So,
yeah, sorry, you got the ugly three this week.
Yeah, you've got the, you know, the waifs and strays of fans react. Unfortunately, you know, we're doing a right job, don't we? We talk a little.
We're all right, I suppose.
We get there.
Worse. I've seen worse opinions on Sunderland.
Right, yeah. And we might come on to one a little bit after what I'll say next. I'll be interested to get your thoughts because I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter, so I'll get your little opinions on that. Some unpopular opinions about Sunderland, but obviously, you know, with the QPR game, Dan Ballard going off injured with a fractured foot, bit of a blow. Really, Dom, you know, do you think he's going to be a big miss for these next sort of couple of months that he's going to be on the sidelines?
Oh, absolutely. I think when you think of who's been playing the best at the back so far, I think it's undoubtedly Ballard. I don't think, obviously, Bath has that experience and he's got that presence about him, but I think Ballard does as well. I think of everyone, he's done well. Elise hasn't, we spoke about this before, Elise hasn't looked that convincing since pre-season, but I don't know if that's a confidence issue. One thing I do want to raise quickly about our defence is a lot of stick about 09 being picked over two centre-backs, and I know this is going to be the most unbiased thing I ever say about Luke 09, by the way. Forget he's over there, right? I'll sit over here so you can't see him. The fact that he's playing there, it's not a thing of like Neil doesn't trust him. It's the fact that he's the best person to do with his footing out of the three, because Elise is, at least in my opinion, from what I've seen, is a left footed, like the left side is centre back. Yeah. Right's definitely more central, so he's more of like a Ballard replacement instead of a Bath replacement more than a Ballard replacement. And so 09 just seems like the most sensible person to put there because he has played there before and he did all right in League One. I know it's obviously different divisions and it's a harder division.
I think people seem to forget that we had one of our best runs with 09 and Dion Sanson centre half.
Believe me, we don't forget whichever side.
Yeah, we don't forget.
Well, I forgot I'm talking to the Luke 09.
The Luke 09 fan club.
Correct.
But
you're talking to the experts here, but
you know, obviously League wanted to step down, but you know, I mean, you could say, what does that say about Luke 09? But then you could say, what did that say about Dion Sanderson?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. No, I'll let you go, Johnny.
I was going to say, just to back you up there, I think you're absolutely spot on. I think when Elise signed, Neil made quite a big point in the little, you know, they get a little sort of statement with the announcement, and Neil was quite vocal about the fact that he wanted to bring a left-sided centre-half in, a left footer, to balance that back three, because I think in a three, even more so than a two, it's quite important to have that sort of range of, you know, footing footing styles. I don't know what the best term is. You want to have a mix of left-footed, right-footed, comfortable on the ball, pacey. You want to have, someone who's really good in the air, preferably through the middle. And I think he said, I think Neil came out and said after the game as well, explaining the 09 sub, I think he pretty much said what you said word for word. He sees Elise as the Dennis Serkin option, for a replacement. He sees Wright as the Bart option, and he sees O'Nien as the Ballard option in terms of coming off the bench. Obviously, both of us do love Luke O'Nien, and I'm always happy to see him get minutes in the Sunderland shirt. But like you say, even just tactically, there is method in it. It's not just a case of looking at the bench and going, oh, well, there's 3 centre-backs. Which one do I fancy today? There is clearly a plan behind it, which is good to see as well. It's nice to know that the manager's got that sort of level of depth in his thinking.
Yeah, it's not like he's being like we're chucking in a centre mid over actual proven defenders. Well, you don't forget he does play anyway. He's one of, if not the most versatile person in our squad. Like we say, it is a division above, and it's a harder league, more demanding league. But if the team can still keep the mentality from the league below, I don't see why that much has to change. Because, like you say, we had the best run of form. I know it was lower opposition before any League One fans somehow still watching us. Don't know fans. Wait, come on now. But I don't know. It's just I don't see why. All bias aside, I don't see why they stick towards him, because I think it is the right decision to make.
I think he's, obviously he's well proven, isn't he? But I think when he has come on, to be fair to him, I didn't think he did much wrong against QPR, and when he came on against Sheff, I thought he was all right. Obviously, sort of midfield and all of this, but going forward, it just feels like Neil has got so many strings to his bow at the minute, and like you say, he is probably the biggest utility man in the Sunderland team, without a doubt. Probably not centre forward. He probably couldn't play there, but I guarantee it. Anywhere
don't
else.
chuck him the gloves, but everywhere else.
Oh yeah. Hey, you never know. Patterson gets injured.
He'd probably say yes,
me in goal, mate.
Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if you said, "Oh yeah, go on, I'll give it a go."
But you might as well stick me or you in goal, Ben, because he ain't got the height, has he?
That's true. That is true. Yeah. I forgot about that. I forgot he's a small lad, isn't he? But
yeah, be like he's playing. It's like he should be playing 7-a-side, and he's in an 11-a-side net. You know what I mean? One of them, like.
Oh well. So we'll make the transition. Obviously, a decent game on Wednesday against Sheffield United. Without a doubt, our toughest game of the season so far. Obviously, we know the pedigree of Sheffield United, and even looking at their team before the game, I thought there's probably about maybe a third, maybe a half of that squad that was in the Premier League. So
and they had 2 players individually worth over 20 million quid. They had Ryan Brewster, who they signed for 24 million from Liverpool, and Sander Berge, or Berger, however you pronounce it, who they signed for 22 million.
Yeah.
I mean, they might not be worth that now, but that's a ridiculous level of investment compared to what we've got.
Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, certainly for Sander Berge, you could see, the quality that he had. He just looked. He's a Premier League player at the end of the day, and I would be surprised if he was still at Sheffield United at the end of the transfer window. But 2-1 defeat, unfortunately. Didn't really feel like a defeat in a weird way. I think for half an hour in that game before, obviously the red card to Dan Neil, I thought we were well in that game. We took the game to them. We played well, knocking the ball about. I was a bit sort of sceptical with the sort of the team that he picked with that sort of midfield 3, especially without Corey Evans. I thought this could be a little bit messy, knowing Sheffield United midfield. They like to dominate, and well, I mean, obviously, sort of when they got the goal, a bit of the second half as well, you could see that they really put us to the sword at sometimes. But amazingly, that we kept it to 2-1. But Dom, 2-1. plenty of positives, or are you
I'd
a
say
bit
so.
worried?
I mean, don't get us wrong. I do think the better team on the day won overall. I think there was times, like you said, they could have absolutely put us to the side. I mean, didn't they score like basically from kickoff in the second half? Or it was very early on, at least I may remember. But I don't know. Like you say, there was plenty of positives. The thought when I saw Gooch throw on goal, like first of all, that finish was outrageous. Like that's goal of the season contender at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, the audacity to be able to just chip him from that far out, it's a good finish. And to think that isn't even like an equaliser going ahead, that's just to keep us in the game. I just thought we showed signs that we're standing our ground. The thing is that people are like, oh, we look lost. We're going to look lost. I think so far this season, we've more than stood our ground. We've looked that we're not just here to make the numbers. I don't think by any means we're a team capable of competing for up there, but I think we've got a decent squad on our hands, and every game so far, including this one, even when we were 2-0 down, I think that we've been in every game we've played in, apart from maybe just the Sheffield Wednesday game, but we don't talk about that. Cups don't count. But yeah, the Neil Red just seemed unnecessary to do. Yes, he made a lot of fouls. I don't know who said it in the group chat, but it was like the red came from the fact that he was just fouling left, right, John Mensah beforehand. So,
He was.
I love that expression.
So it was coming. I've got no complaints on the fact that he got sent off. It is deserved. A lot of people are saying that it's a soft red, but at the end of the day, you can't really contest with it, can you?
Sometimes you just piss the ref off into sending you off, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the ref just kind of thinks, I'm sick of you now. That's it.
It was one of those
You're
cases,
off.
I think, Johnny, to be honest. I think it was just one of them cases where the ref was like, right, I'm not having that, so
yeah,
get an early bath, son. Other than that, I don't think we played that much individual error. Yes, there was a few times I thought we misplaced passes where I thought if we just made that pass, we could have been through, we could have scored. But you can't live your life, especially in football, on ifs and buts. At the end of the day, we lost 2-1, but we played well. And like you have both said, it felt like a draw. I don't feel like we lost on Wednesday. I thought there's plenty to take from that game to think that we should be positive going into the next game. But I don't know. I think if we're going to lose but still show fight, obviously you don't want to lose, but if the fact that we're showing that fight, I think is the important thing to take.
I mean, I couldn't have put it better myself, Dom, to be honest. I mean, you know, going down to 10 men away from home, Alex Neil could have easily said to the lads, right, we'll chuck on Bailey Wright, we'll chuck on Elise, we'll go 5 at the back, we'll sit back and we'll just do damage limitation. But he made some aggressive substitutions. I tell you, when he made them subs, you know, that really changed the game. You know, when Matete came on, looked lively, actually probably played really well, actually, the little cameo that he did, other than that silly yellow card he gave away and the foul in injury time. But, you know, the press was there, intercepted the ball. Obviously, it was Stewart. Lovely pass from Stewart, by the way, in the gooch, and a fab finish. And for 10 minutes, you know, we had them on the ropes. They were worried, you know, with 10 men, they were thinking, I tell you what, we need to hold on here. And, you know, obviously we couldn't find that winning goal. So, Gary, it is. And where were you last week as well, eh?
Stickies every week. It's shocking.
Every week. Yeah, oh, Gary.
Ask him where the familiar faces, they don't show.
He's in a car park. That's where he is. He's in a bloody car park.
Oh,
there you go.
But so yeah, Dom, I'll come on a little bit with you. Obviously, with Neil, you know, another set piece goal conceded against Sheffield United from a corner. He seems to be. Gary, you put me off, man. How are you? He likes his zonal marking, Neil, especially at corners. do you think it's probably time now that Neil has a think and said, do you know what, something needs to change here? Because it's not just been a problem this season, the end of last season as well. We were, probably one of the highest teams in League One, and we're probably top of the table in the Championship for conceding goals at set pieces. So do you think that'll be going through Neil's mind, or do you think it'll just be, we just need to iron out a few things in training?
It's definitely something we need to look at. Like I say, if they didn't score that, if Che didn't score on Saturday, I think I'd be less worried, because I would have thought if they did score that, they wouldn't have got the second chance to equalise. Conceding tactical fouls beforehand, I had no problem with, but if we're going to let them score anyways, whether that's through just pure talent or sloppy mistakes at the back, you shouldn't be giving away free kicks in dangerous positions, and you shouldn't really be giving corners if there's other options to do it. Obviously, we're not professional footballers. We don't know what it's like to be on that pitch, what's going on through your head. But when you think about it, like you say, we probably are top of the Championship for most goals conceded through set pieces. You just got to be careful, I think the word I'm going to use here is, because, yeah, you don't want to concede at all, but if you're going to give away fouls for the sake of someone not being clean through and then letting them score anyways, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, Johnny, what your thoughts? Do you think that's probably only the biggest dilemma for Neil at the minute, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it needs addressing, doesn't it? Like you said, Don, you mentioned it a couple of times, giving away tactical fouls, like it's part of the game. And the whole point of a tactical foul is that you're giving away the foul instead of giving away a clear chance or a goal. So if you're getting to the point where you're conceding from a high number of your set pieces, you're taking away one of your defensive tactics, not the most sportsmanlike, but, it's still it's part of the game. And aside from anything, you're going to concede corners, you're going to concede free kicks. Every game, it's guaranteed you're not going to go a whole game without giving someone away, unless you have 100% of the possession. So it definitely needs sorting out. You touched, Ben, on zonal marking sort of versus man marking are kind of the two options really. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of zonal marking. I think it's too easy for it to. I think it's too easy in that sort of system for a player to almost pass the blame. You'd be like, oh well, it's not in my zone. It's not for me to worry about. And there's those famous clips in Neil Warnock, sort of bollocking players in the dressing room and that. And there's one clip where I think it's Jagielka saying something like, "Oh well, boss, they brought an extra man in the box and I've gone and marked him or whatever." And Warnock's like, "Well, look, you pick up the man I tell you to pick up, and if he scores, it's my fault." And it's like, okay, great, in theory, it's the manager's fault, but at the end of the day, it's all well and good having a post-mortem. You need to stop the goal on the pitch. So if it was me, I'd be switching to man marking, because I think we've got Bart. We've got Ballard when he's fit, but we've got Bart, we've got Elise, we've got Wright, we've got Stewart who can come back and defend in the box. We've got lads in there with physicality and height who can get up there and challenge any, tall attacker or defender in this league of set pieces. But yeah, it needs sorting out. If it was, like you said, back in the last season, it was a bit of an issue. And when a manager comes in, he's not had a full pre-season, all that, you can forgive stuff like being weak on set pieces because he's inheriting, Lee Johnson's old methods or whatever. But he's had a full pre-season now, and he's also strengthened the squad, like particularly in defence with Ballard until the QPR game. So for it to still be this much of an issue, it definitely needs changing, I think. And I think if he sticks with it, we're going to concede more goals and drop more points that are just needless.
Yeah, and I think, it just seems like we've gone from a physical league to probably an even more physical league, in the Championship. And, we need them bodies there marking properly at corners. For me, there's no doubt about it. So hopefully there might be something ticking in Neil's mind to try and change something, because something, does really need to be done. But I'll quickly ask you again, Johnny. So, you look at the 11 that Neil put out. It was quite an attacking 11. I was a bit surprised. But in Neil's post-match interview, we said, we put a team out that we thought that could compete and kind of win the game. So obviously the bit I want to highlight is the midfield, obviously, for one reason or another. So first of all, how do you think that they played? Did you think they did well? And did you think that our man, Mr. Corey Evans, was a miss?
Well, I think it does sort of make sense on paper to give Evans a rest. I don't think he was injured. I think he was rested. He's not the youngest of players. He's quite important to the way we play now. So I do think there's going to have to be a degree of rotation. So I don't have a problem with the manager for changing the team like that. I think that's fair enough. I also sort of don't really think you can judge them that much because obviously with Neil getting sent off half an hour in, that totally throws off the whole makeup of the team anyway. I like the positivity though. I do like that he's willing to pick a team where he's kind of looked at it and gone. I imagine his thought process was along the lines of, Sheffield United are a physical, strong team, and I think they have quite a lot of success when they play direct. So if we want to play at our strengths, we're going to want to try and keep the ball, keep it on the deck, and put some technical players in the midfield, which I like. I much prefer us to look at it going into a game and think, how can we maximise our strengths going forward, rather than looking at it and going, how are we going to stop the opposition? I just think that mindset's so much more important, and then you'll win more games being positive than you will being negative. So I can't fault the selection really. The only thing is, it can go against you. And obviously, we've got Stoke coming up tomorrow, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But obviously a famously physical side. Can you do it on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke? Just disclaimer: yes, Lionel Messi could have done it on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke before anyone starts. And so can Luke O'Nien.
Absolutely.
But and another physical side, and it can go against you where if they then start to dominate and get on top of you physically, if your midfield is Embleton, Neil, Pritchard, or some combination of technical players, it can go against you. So I don't mind it, but you've just got to be careful. If you're going to play that way, you've got to really commit. The last thing you want to be doing is putting that midfield on the pitch and then starting playing long balls and trying to play like really direct, because you'll just play into the opposition's hands. But yeah, in terms of evaluating how they played, they only got half an hour together, and by all accounts, they did play quite well. And it sounded like we were sort of taking the game to them in that first sort of 25 minutes, half an hour, which is what I'd want to see. So I'm all for that level of positivity, just as long as it's backed up with enough sort of pragmatism and caution to recognise when they're getting on top, which I'm sure, Alex Neil's a good manager. I'm sure he's, well versed in that.
Yeah, and I mean, just talking a little bit about Neil, I'll come to you, Dom, for this one, but we have talked about Neil's substitutions and lack of making the right substitutions in a few games already this season. But on Wednesday, it seemed to be, he's at one end of the spectrum or he's at the complete other end of the spectrum, where them three players that he brought on, Hume, Matete and Wright, they came on and they made an immediate difference, a little change in shape, go with a 4-4-1, put Gucci a bit more forward on that right-hand side, and he looked like a different player. I mean, I don't know what you thought about the sort of Gucci being pushed up and that sort of change in tactics to then go on and play the rest of the game.
Well, I thought that's where he belongs. He's a winger. I think, yes, he can play. Yeah, thank you. No, he's a winger. He deserves to get forward, and he's shown what he can do when he's actually played in his position. That's all I took from it, was the fact that he got up there, he scored a belter of a goal, and then he'll probably get stuck back in right back come tomorrow. So it's just, I don't know. When it comes to substitutions, the way I always look at it is the fact that I'm not the manager and we're getting the points, so we're clearly doing something right. So I don't really question that side. But there has been some cases so far this season where I've been like, was that the right decision? I think I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think I believe it was on Saturday that we took. I think it was Pritchard off or someone else, and then
I think Sims and Pritchard both came off.
Yes, that's
fairly
the
early
one.
on, didn't they, against
Pritchard had a bit
QPR?
of a paddy when he were coming
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with that one either, I've got to say.
I was sat there thinking, what on earth has he done that for? And then we looked sluggish from then on. But at the end of the day, only one man can make decisions. If he's got tactics and he's got ideas to back those decisions up, then who am I to tell him that he's doing it wrong?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's, we all questioned him before the playoff final, didn't we? And we saw Embleton was in the starting lineup. We thought, oh, what's he putting Embleton in that midfield for? And then, 10 minutes later, he scores a screamer, doesn't he? So sometimes you feel like you say, Neil, what you're doing, but then other moments he comes back and says, actually, that's why I'm a manager. That's why I've got the coaching badges, and all you keyboard warriors can just, have a little thought on your little Sunderland stat shows and all of this. You just do yours, and I'll do the talking that matters the most.
That's why he gets paid to be involved with football, and I've got, shit clothes all over me bed here, living in a little flat in Leeds, talking about
my student loans, working our life.
Oh dear. But right, I'll just quickly pop into the live chat and have a read of what everyone's been saying. I don't really want to say too much about the conversation between Gary and Joanne.
There's a lot of love for Gooch going on in the live.
There is actually, and coming from Gary as well, which is very surprising.
I know. I'm having to sort of restrain myself. I'm a bit in shock there, hearing Gary praising Gooch so much.
And they are. Will Allen saying mistake to have no midfielders who could tackle. Yeah, I guess on the day, Dan Neil didn't really know how to tackle. And to be fair, 09 should have been sent off as well, but that's a different. Have you seen the replay of the tackle?
I haven't actually.
He was a very lucky boy. Very, very, very lucky boy.
I mean, it's about time one of them went for us, man, because the first few weeks of the season, we've had a few poor decisions off refs go against us, I mean, we haven't really spoken about it, but even on Saturday against QPR, Chair shouldn't have been on the pitch to be influencing those goals, Exactly, hand around the throat, like, letter of the law to sending off.
It is a sending off, to be fair.
I remember years ago now in the Premier League, West Ham at home, and I think it was a Kenwyn Jones who literally, he must have done like a little push like that against someone's chest. And the referee gives him a straight red and he's off the pitch. Whereas, I know it's years apart, but Chair there, literally hand around the neck and, nothing given at all. So we'll complain when they go against us and we'll take them when they come for us. That's just the way, it's the nature of the beast, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There seems to be a bit of talk about my moustache.
I didn't want to be the one to mention that one, Ben, but I've got to admit I was curious.
There's nothing wrong with my moustache.
I think I need to change my calendar. Is it November already? Like, what's going on here? Are you raising some money? Like,
do you know what? I had my last day in uni today, and I woke up and I thought, hey, I'm going to shave it off. And then I woke up a little bit later than I intended.
Right.
Yeah.
In the morning, and I thought, I couldn't shave it off. And then I was looking downstairs in the mirror. I thought, because I know it winds a lot of people up. I mean, my dad
proper porn stash, isn't it? Like,
my mum hates it.
You need sunglasses and like a leather jacket. You look like a copper from the 70s.
I'm leaving it on just to annoy everyone. So
you're gonna grow out in the handlebars, like Ben.
Yeah, I said to Beth, I said, curl it at the
sides.
Oh
God, no! Oh God.
Anyway, enough about my moustache. I'm gonna hand over to you, mate.
Yes.
And I'm gonna let you narrate the well-returned quiz. So, Dom, over to you, mate.
Right, let's just set it up. Stop it, Let me get it all sorted. We did do a screen test earlier, and
is that a Blue Peter badge?
That is a Blue Peter badge. It is a blue. I've got more. If you want me to go get them, I've got a diamond Blue Peter badge. Actually, not Not the flex like.
Jack Diamond is that.
Jack Diamond. No. I think it's as
God,
real
I
as a
shouldn't have said
diamond as
that.
he is.
I shouldn't have said that. I'll start a nuclear war between the fans now. But
Hey, no,
Everyone
you
will be the
know,
one
it
to say
came
it.
on. I'm not having any other slag from that. So,
right, Matthew
Right.
Leeds gonna hunt you down in your sleep now, just so you're aware.
Okay. Right, while we've got time, while we wait for everyone else to come in here, I'm just gonna quickly show everyone me other Blue Peter badges, because I've got two. I've got three. Got a purple one, and there you go, Jack Diamond. It's not real, obviously, because this is
Whee!
BBC budget, but you know, massive. Who's in? I've just seen someone's in. Oh, it's you. Never mind. Who we all got?
well, that's not me.
Peter Purvis. Which one of you is it?
No, it's not me.
Oh no! Oh no!
I hope for the return of the quiz, I think the names need to be just that little bit, you know,
No more
a
Johnny's
bit more
headphones.
controversial, a little bit sort of, you know.
So we're not seeing any Bent Airlines Johnny's headphones anymore, are we not? Here we go.
That first
Hey,
Ben might have
Steve.
been that first Ben might have been me mistyping on my phone when I was
Oh,
trying to log in. So I've had to rejoin. Oh, the Rodfather. That just makes us think of Jack Rodwell. Fucking hell.
The
The
Jesus
Rodfather.
Christ.
We got a massacre, my boy.
How long do we give it until we kick it off?
Dixie Normus, absolute classic.
We'll give people another couple of minutes. If you don't know how to do it, folks, go on Kahoot. Get it on the app, or the link is above next to the game pin there. Put your name in, and hopefully Dom's quiz will live up to the hype.
You're all right. Blue Peter was what the press called Peter fucking Raid after Premier Passions. Nice link. That was not what I was going for, but thank you for that little bit of knowledge, Gary.
I've seen a bit of Premier Passions, mine, and it is good.
I watch Premier Passions. It is a great bit of viewing, like.
It's like what we all wanted Sunderland till I die to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we'll never get a one quite like Rady ever again, but we can dream, eh?
Hey, just quickly to Patrick in the chat, don't worry, mate. We're going to have a little bit more discussion after the quiz has been on. So your point, we shall get round to your point, but we want to make sure we leave enough time for the quiz
Blame
before people
Speakman.
have to
That's
shoot
why we
off at
haven't thought
8.
about it. Blame Speakman.
Yeah, I mean,
How long we got?
if I was Christian Speakman, I definitely would have discussed that point earlier. But,
Yeah, I would have too, but it's his lack of investment that's led to your money being absolutely wasted.
He should have backed Patrick a bit more, really. But
He should have. He should have. I agree.
Okay,
Liverpool
let's
get back
Oh God!
in. Should we start before?
I think we should. I think.
Right.
I think we're bad people, Dom.
Yeah, we are. Right. On to the first Fans React quiz of 2022.
Hey, we go.
Here we go. Right. Question number 1. Where is the best pre-match spot in Sunderland? Very topical. We've got the Colliery, the Fans Museum, Monk Weymouth Station, or the place that must not be named. Very topical, obviously. If you don't know, get to know. That's what I know. All your answers in, what we saying? Correct. Obviously, Fans Museum and Monk Weymouth Station are the same. So I'm surprised no one got that. Whoever put the Wheat Sheaf, leave. No, I'm joking. Ben's Tash leading the way after the first question.
On the
Obviously,
boys.
if you don't know, Fans Museum is the new home of Countdown to Kickoff. So if you want to come pre-match, be able to come down, Sean will always be there with his microphone, you know. Got to get that little self-promotion in while we still can. You know.
Well, exactly.
Exactly. Nice. Question number 2. Which of these players didn't don the number 3 shirt for Sunderland? Kieran Richardson, Asamoah Gyan, Rory Delap, or Wayne Bridge? Rory Delap's son, obviously, playing tomorrow. Well, we don't know if he's starting, of course, but he's just transferred to the Potters. The prophecy is in fact true. Yep, it was Rory Delap. Asamoah Gyan wore it in his final season, well, his second season. Kieran Richardson played number 3 in 2010, 2011. And Wayne Bridge, to be honest, I forget Wayne Bridge even played for Sunderland. So,
Same.
I don't
Along with the likes of James McFadden.
Oh my God, where have you pulled that from?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Rory Delapore,
as well, to be honest.
Yeah. Blast from the past, that like. Yeah. These aren't all football related. There's just a bit of everything, but a lot of Sunderland questions. Ben's Tash still up there. Keisha rising there. We've got Sam Spud, Nunes, Lulu, back from the 1960s.
Darwin Nunes as well.
Thanks right, what year?
He's got to do.
Did the Tyne Weir Metro come to Sunderland?
Hey.
1982, 1992, 2002, or 2003. Everyone loves the Metro. As you can see, she's looking for anyone who actually paid for a ticket on the Metro there. She's looking like.
Oh, she'll be struggling.
Oh, she'll be struggling. Yeah, it was, in fact, 2002. Little history lesson for you there, because that's the kind of host I am. The Metro opened in 1980, originally only serving Tyneside, despite going as the Tyne Weir Metro. Exactly, boo. But in April 2002, at the cost of £100 million, the line to South Hilton was opened by Her Majesty herself, who, of course, loves commuting from Brotley Winds to the Stadium of Light on the match days.
It was that or signed Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish wasn't actually playing football yet. So.
Yeah, I don't. Was he? No, he was born. What am I going on about? Peter Purvis up there now. Lulu dropping off. It's just like when Relight My Fire came out. It's a sad time. I'm sorry, that was awful. Right, little follow-up question. How many Metro stations are there in City of Sunderland? So the region City of Sunderland, not just the city centre. 7, 8, 9, or 10. A little bit northeast bias here. Sorry, boys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy from Leeds to be able to tell how many Metro stations there are in Sunderland.
No, it was in fact 9. Those 9 are South Hilton, Pallion, Millfield, University, Park Lane, Sunderland Station, St. Peter's, Stadium of Light, and Seaburn. East Bolton does not count as City of Sunderland, but you already knew that. Who's up there? Ben's Tash is just... It's just unmovable.
Chilling at the top like it is on the top.
Looks like Ben's Tash isn't going anywhere soon. Peter Purvis still up there. Acacia's not that
Someone's going to need to be razor sharp to knock Ben's Tash off the top. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, as you should. Christ above. Right, true or false? Dwight York made more Sunderland appearances than Jordan Henderson. Maybe relatively easy, may not be. I'm not quite sure. Well, I do know because I've got the answers in front of me.
Awesome. Also, by the way, fantastically shit pun from Gary in the chat there. Metro Gabbiadini with some flair. I mean, I love it.
That's disgraceful. Yeah, it was false. Dwight York made 59 appearances. Hendo made 71. So only the 12, but it was closer than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Peter Purvis going down. And that's the last time I hope I ever say that in my life. What is this show? What is this turned into?
Hey, Long, you've come out firing for the quiz. I'm all here for it, lad. Hey.
I'm leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to Stoke. I don't need this shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of us are going to work tomorrow, mate. Yeah, so it could be worse.
I would not know what it's like.
Hey, you get me by now,
Dixie Enormous, the highest climber. How fitting for the namesake. Matthew Leach was a Stadium Light mascot in 2013. Everyone should know this. I don't think he's ever mentioned it.
Do you know what? He bangs on about it so much, and I can't remember who it is now.
Do you know what? I'm thinking exactly the same here, Ben. I know it as well. I know it.
Was it? I'll put on a Cockney answer for this. Was it Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, or West Ham? And that's the last time I do it. West Ham. Oh my!
Oh, sorry, Matthew.
Tottenham Hotspur. That is shocking from both of you. It was on Sky Sports as well. absolutely disgraceful from all of you.
I'm devastated myself.
Obviously.
When we scored 1-0 and we won in the 93rd minute, was it that game or?
I believe so. I didn't.
You scored Michael Chopra, wasn't it? 93rd
No, it
minute.
can't be that. It was 2013.
2013. So Poyet would have just been manager. No, it would have been Adebayor, wouldn't it? He was on a scoring streak around that.
It has to have been 13-14 season because we played at the end of 12-13. So Poyet must have been the manager. No, it wasn't Adebayor who scored. Was it not Ryan Mason?
I'm not quite sure, actually.
I'm gonna Google this.
Good, because I can't be
anyone in the live chat,
so.
if you know the answer, please drop it in. We're all dying to know here.
Obviously, yeah. Wait, I don't think I can sleep at night without knowing. While Johnny does that, let's go on. The next question: how many current Championship teams have never played in the Premier League?
Oh dear.
Obviously, from 1992, as it is 30 years of the new era. Of course, football was invented in 1992, so we've never won the FA Cup.
My dad is going to come and kill you now.
It's only a joke. Come on. 3, 5, 7, or 9. Yes, it is 5.
Oh, what a guess.
Also, I was wrong. It wasn't when we got beat 1-0. We got beat 2-1, 7th of December 2013. Goals from Paulinho and an own goal from John O'Shea.
Paulinho.
Oh, with an assist from Nasser Chadli.
Oh, this is bail money was mental. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Sunderland's goal scored by a man who later went to prison.
Oh, right.
Moving on. The Championship teams. We've got Millwall, Preston, Rotherham, Bristol City, and what's the last one you used to?
Luton.
It is Luton. Well done. You don't get extra.
Millwall have never played in the Prem. I'm surprised by that.
Not in the Premier League.
Not in the modern Prem, yeah. I'm surprised by that one.
Obviously, Luton came agonisingly close last season.
I would have loved to see their stadium in the Prem.
Oh, yeah.
Top notch.
Oh, shut up, Johnny.
Bournemouth and Luton in the Premier League. There would have been so many players.
Who would the football hipsters support? They'd be torn.
I know.
They'd all be getting half and half scarves, mate.
Support us. That's what you need to be doing. Right, Ben Stash. It's Ben Stash. Nunez making the rise. Obviously sat at home. Hasn't got any games to be training for anytime soon. Right, how many platforms does Sunderland Station have? Bit of a trick one. Is it 2, 3, 4, or it doesn't matter because you have the airport?
I know what the Max would be saying.
It's a valid point. We do not, in fact, have an airport. We have Doxford International, but it's not an airport, so it doesn't count. What are we saying? It is, in fact, 4.
I can't believe you would have given
agreeing with the correct answer.
That, Dom. Eh?
I'm proud of everyone for not putting it, though. Well done.
Yeah, I'm proud.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I would have fell for the trap, but who put 1? Was it one of you who put 3?
No. I put 2.
No. Right, Ben, what did you put?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. I think I pressed 2.
Ben, I think you might need to go and get yourself checked out, pal, if you can't remember the last 10 seconds. Although, actually, if anything, that would definitely help a Sunderland supporter cope with life. I've got to say, you've got that one bang
absolutely.
On. Exactly.
Oh, my God. No, the answer was, in fact, 4. It's a trick question because there's only 2 tracks, but there's 4 platforms to cover.
Oh, you cheeky bastard.
The Metro and National Rail. Fun fact for you, it's the only train station that LNER covered that is underground. I bet you'll never guess where I got that fact from.
There's no way that it would possibly come from someone in the Fans React channel who works with trains. It must come from Alex Cottrell. He knows everything about trains.
Bastard has come up 5 places. Me like him Matete. Well done on you, but Ben Stash still leading the line. The original plans for Sunderland's move away from Roker Park was located in which northeast area? Was it Pallion, Castletown, Rye, or Washington? Who knows? I do, because it's in front of me.
Your dad would know this.
Well, is your dad playing?
No.
Well, that's too fucking bad, isn't it? So,
it
was Washington. What did you put?
Riot, I just guessed.
It was, in fact, Washington. Well, more specifically, Nissan. The move to Washington was proposed in 1993 for a 40,000-seater stadium. As you saw from the photo, it would have looked the exact same on the inside, but the outside would have had a nice Wembley-esque tower feature. They also wanted to build a 12,000 indoor arena to go with it, along with a multiplex cinema and a health club. It would have been called the Sunderland Centre, but they wanted it to be a bit closer to the city centre, and therefore the Stadium of Light was born. And I'm glad that it's more in the city centre, to be honest. Very, very good decision. Mind you, it's not a half bad looking stadium, to be fair.
It looks all right, like.
Wembley of the North, it was dubbed.
Them towers on the front would have aged pretty quick, like.
Oh, yeah. They would have aged, like...
That would have been a staple of the 90s design there.
Like a fine wine, they would have aged. Also, from above, it has a little bit of... like the Millennium, the Principality in Cardiff. I'm getting from that.
Bit of a squarer one.
Oh, yes. Well, it doesn't exist, so it doesn't matter. Who's... I'm sorry. It's a long day. I've had a blood test. I've had an heart scan. It's all over the place. Ben Stash still leading the line. Bastard is climbing, though. He's growing, you could say. Next one, true or false. There is a campus in Asia for the University of Sunderland.
This seems too niche a question. It's got to be true, surely.
We'll put true, and we'll see what people are seeing.
Yeah, but it's false.
Well, Ben Carr.
Oh, there we go.
It's true. It is in Hong Kong. So there's
not getting into that particular geopolitical debate.
There's one in London.
I don't have time to get assassinated.
There's two in Sunderland, one of which I'm going to, by the way. Just wanted to chuck that into. There's one in London. I know, thank you. Stop it. And one in Hong Kong, which focuses on like business and management. I couldn't find a ranking for anyway, so I couldn't tell you if it's any good. So if you plan on going to Hong Kong,
there's a lot of between unis between like here in Asia, because I went to Lancaster. There's a Chinese centre in the middle of campus there. They're everywhere.
Oh well,
they're everywhere.
That is good. Now, if you're planning on, I know there's a lot of Hong Kong fans who are supporters, so I'm sorry that I couldn't get the inside scoop on that. Has Ben Tash been dethroned? I thought for a minute Nunes has been dethroned from second. Peter Purvis slowly climbing. Collie wobbles into the... What a funny name. Up 3 places. And Caden DC, I was going to be like, I can't even pronounce that, but it turns out I can. Question 11. Which of these throwable objects was invented in Wearside? Was it the javelin, the frisbee, the anchor, or the hand grenade? Quite the selection of stuff. Rumour has it, if you went to Joplin's back in the day, you could buy all 4. But we'll just never know.
And I think all of them can be found in the away end most weeks at the stadium.
We won't get into that, shall we? Yes, it was, in fact, the hand grenade. Developed in 1915 by a certain William Mills. He used it to fend off the seagulls and residents of Pennywell. Ben Stash has finally been knocked off its perch.
Oh, what a shame.
Nunes leading the leaderboard now. Dixie Norman's back in the top. Peter Purvis still sitting in third. Question number 12. Which of these ingredients would you not find in a traditional panaclity? Have either of you boys had panaclity?
My dad, I don't know if he's watching, but one of the only meals that he will make is a panaclity.
Johnny, what about you?
A few times, yeah.
I don't actually think I have. I think I know what's in it. Yeah, well, I know what's in it then because I got it right, but I don't know if I've not like a proper one.
It is pork. There is a slight modification where it's a panaclity with bacon, but the main ingredients are just corned beef, carrots, potatoes, preferably sliced, and onions. So well done, all of you, for getting that. I thought the corned beef would chuck people out, but people know their penalty, which is good to know in life.
Hey.
Ben Stash back on the top. I feel like this might be going down to the wire. But bastard though, 5 correct in a row.
That's impressive.
All right.
Very impressive.
He's stolen Austin Powers mojo, I think.
What club is Ben Carr the president of? The Corey Evans fan club, the anti-Corey Evans club, the Jack Diamond fan club, or the Lionesses fan club? Some might say...
How to wind up the majority of Sunderland fans with one easy question.
He's leader of all of them, I heard. It is, of course, the Corey Evans fan club and
that
the
one vote
fan club.
Diamond fan club.
Who did that?
Perfect.
Oh well, I'm glad people know that I am the president of the Corey Evans fan club.
Yes, you are. It wasn't the case last season, though, was it, Benjamin?
I know. Well, you know.
I thought I'd chuck the Lionesses in there because, as we all know, Ben Carr loves women's football, especially when they win. You know, big fan of Chloe Kelly, aren't you, mate?
Oh, I am.
The enthusiasm in his tone says it all, really. Before Matthew comes in,
he's married. He's married.
Before Matthew comes and has a stroke about women's football, let's get on to the next.
Having a stroke, fucking hell! Whoa! Don't be doing that on camera. That's definitely paid for content. That.
This is a family show, eh? Behave. Don't think like that. This is a family show.
It's Gary's fault. He's corrupted us.
It is. Ben's Tash still there. I feel like this is going to be a 2-horse race between Nunes and Ben Stash. Peter Purvis still there, though, mind you. Fasted with a 6 streak. You never know. He might come and steal it all. Right. Next question. Who was Sunderland manager the last time they won a Wayatees derby? In quotations. I don't want to open that can of worms. As you can see, 6 fingers on the screen. If you're from Middlesbrough, you'd know all about having them. Was it?
That's one hand in Borough, that, yeah.
Was it Chris Coleman, Martin O'Neill, Roy Keane, or Ricky Sprazier? It was, in fact, Martin O'Neill.
I'm disappointed that only 3 people got this. That's poor.
That is quite poor.
I always remember I think it was in the Cup or something.
It was in the Cup.
And we lost 2-1 or something. Or I can't remember.
It was the 8th of Feb 2012. Sessignon with a winner in extra time at the Riverside.
Okay.
Keane won the last League One. It was in September 2008.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So that's why I put Roy Keane. I'm not sure about that question, Dom.
We haven't beat Middlesbrough since 2008, but let's not talk about that. Let's just move on. Yeah, does anyone know who scored that? Who scored in that game?
It was either Higginbottom or Liam Miller, I swear.
Ben, any guesses?
I haven't got a clue. I can't remember.
No, I'm lying. It was Daryl Murphy.
It was none of them. It was Michael Shepherd.
This is bullshit. This quiz is wrong. 14 years ago. Give a guy a break. A child.
When you say 14 years, they haven't beat Middlesbrough. 14 years.
In the league, yeah.
Disgraceful. Oh, well, that all changes soon, right? Anyways, Ben's Tash with an answer streak of 3. Oh, bastard streak has come to an end. That is sad. Who knows? This might be Ben's Tash's game. How many different kit manufacturers are there in the Championship currently? Arsenal, Juventus, Barcelona on your screen. Obviously, massive Championship clubs there. They really stiffed me with the gifts here, like, boys. I can't lie to you. Was it 6, 7, 8, or 9? Of course, it was 9.
Oh.
Nike, Macron, Puma, Hummel, Umbro, New Balance, Araya, Joma, and Kelme. No Adidas, though. Sheffield United, if they
no Castori either.
No Castori.
Because it seems like popped up all of a sudden out of nowhere.
I would have allowed 10 if you said Avex, saying that we're technically made by Avex, but we won't get into that. It's got Nike on the front. Peter Purvis crawling up. for the game on Moranti, boys and girls. I can
Peter
barely
Purvis,
get
I'm scared now.
Right. Who is currently, as of right now, favourite to win the championship? Burnley, Watford, Norwich, or Sheffield United? When I say as of right now, yesterday when I plotted these, this is according to Sky Bet, of course, the main sponsors of the EFL. So, do they know the league well enough? It is Watford and Sheffield United. To be fair, I didn't think people would vote Norwich because of
poor start.
Very, very poor start. Yes, according to Sky Bet, both the Hornets and the Blades are both 4-1 to win the league. Burnley is 11-2, and Norwich is 7-1. I actually put a pound on for Burnley to win the league, so let's hope that Vincent Kompany's massive clarets can do the job. Ben's Tash, 8,500 points. It's very impressive showing, we can't lie, from a lot of
it is, I know, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't like the brag.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right. Who is currently favourite to be relegated from the championship?
Oh.
Reading, Bristol City, Birmingham, or Wigan? I think it's a lot more obvious than you think. Whether that's a clue or not, I have to say.
Oh, you say that now. I'll put it wrong.
As soon as you say that, it makes us think I've got it wrong.
Oh,
Of course, it is.
Didn't Reading just thump Blackburn?
Yeah.
They did, but
That's questionable from Sky Bet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
they are 13-8 to go down, finish rock bottom. Bristol City are 10-3, and both the Blues and our best friends, the Latics, are 5-2 to be relegated back
My
to
money's
League
on
One.
Birmingham for sure.
Cool.
So if you're a gambling man, don't take advice from us or Sky Bet, as it seems. Dixie Normus rising to the top 5 again. Hey, this is a family show. Nothing blue. Nothing blue.
We're very
Right.
mature people.
Oh, of course. Which of these bands' frontman claim to support Sunderland? Is it Clean Bandit, Franz Ferdinand, Lindisfarne, or the 1975? Franz Ferdinand, of course. The music.
Do you even know who Lindisfarne are, Dom?
I do. They sung Fog on the Tyne and Sunderland Boys, which we play before kickoff.
I bloody knew that as well.
See, I only knew this from an interview because I've seen it ages ago. So
no, I just
always
know my
like
stuff.
them.
You say, Benjamin. Lindisfarne, I knew would throw people off. The 1975, I don't think was chucking anyone off. The fact that Matthew Healy is son of Denise Welsh and Tim Healy, so two Geordie legends. I think he would have been hung, drawn, and quartered for that. Obviously, Franz Ferdinand lead Alex Kapranos has said that he follows the Sunderland scores after briefly living here as a child. Moved when he was only 2 months old. Poor fella. The top 5 remains unchanged as we go into the penultimate question. Who does Sunderland have last game of the season? You should all know this. West Brom away, Watford home, Huddersfield at home, or Preston away. On the 6th of May, I believe.
I can't remember which one.
This really makes me look like a very, very part-time armchair fan. I don't know this.
Preston, surely.
Yes! I did know it.
It is, in fact, Preston North End.
Alex Neil's
But
old club.
Those are actually our last 4 games of the season, so props for being close to the 3 people.
In that order, like West Brom, Watford, Huddersfield, Preston.
I don't remember.
I tell you what, either way, that's not a kind last 4. That.
No, it's not. It's not. But we'll be relegated by then, anyways. What? Who said that? Dixie Normus. I'm joking, of course. We're finishing first. We'll have it wrapped up by then. Dixie Normus on a hot streak, but unfortunately, he was just compensating because he's nowhere near winning the game. So shrivel back down, mate. Ben's Tash and Peter Purvis. It's between these two. I don't see Nunes winning. So last question, and guess what? It's double points. Oh,
Oh,
wow. Who cares?
Shit.
What is Luke O'Nine's middle name? Obviously, Johnny has the edge being in the Luke O'Nine fan club. Not quite president, that belongs to me. Of course,
I
John
don't know.
Sarney.
I don't know
also,
this one.
Oh, that's fucking shocking.
oh.
Or maybe I'm just a stalker then. Who knows? Maybe I've just outed myself. It is Terry.
Terry.
Luke Terry 09.
Oh, what a crap middle name, man.
Wow. Hang on a minute. Matey. You and
Yeah,
you.
but it just doesn't sound right. Luke Terry 09.
No. If it knocks me off the
not
top,
gonna ring
no.
Not
No.
say
Right.
that.
No.
It is. It's Terry, I'm telling you now.
Please,
What did you
please.
vote for?
I put Daniel. I don't know. I'd guess.
Well, should we say
Terry.
how that well, you give it
Please,
a
no.
Well, how does this affect the scores? So, at the end of the first quiz of the season, Peter Purvis
Oh,
Ben's Tash, which means I can't believe it. Nunes has won.
I can't believe a Luke O'Nine questions just lost us the quiz. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. Ever.
Oh,
There have been wars with fewer negative consequences than this.
Johnny, that is so poor from you, mate. I'm sorry.
11
really
out of 20 was just not enough, mate. Unlucky.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Oh, dearie me. Well, it just goes to show you may be
I
part of
didn't
the
think
fun
about
club, but you just don't know it all.
I need to go and think about what I've done.
I think we may have to have a liaison council meeting about your position in the Luke
I'm
19
going to
fan club.
have to have an emergency board meeting, mate.
I think Jamsani is going to overtake you in the hierarchy here, mate.
Not acceptable. I briefly seen him in the Colliery Tavern for the first game of the season, by the way. His arms are bigger teen me.
Have you seen him drunk? It is quite the. I've witnessed him blackout drunk in stock, spilling
Nice.
a lot of money's worth of drinks and dancing with Matthew Lees to a bit of Motown on stage. It was a beautiful thing. You really had to be there.
I feel like that needs to happen someday.
It does. Yeah. We'll have a fans react Friday live in the flesh, and we'll get them to do a bit jig in the fans team. How about that? But at the end of that quiz, it just wasn't enough. Johnny, give us some post-match talk. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm devastated. I feel like I've let myself down. I feel like I've let Luke O'Nine down as a person. I feel like it's just not the standard you expect from somebody who's a self-professed member of the Luke O'Nine fan club. And really, we'll dust ourselves down and we'll go again next week. That's for sure. In the immortal words of Steve Bruce.
We'll just have to see if you can redeem yourself in the next quiz, whenever that may be. Hopefully, it's going to be a monthly segment. I just thought we could do one every month, see how we get on, but we'll just have to wait and say, Ben, how did you think you did in that quiz?
Well, I only got 7, so not very well. But the questions were a lot better than the last time. So, Dom, I do applaud the quiz. It was a very welcome return. So
thank you.
Done.
Well, it just goes to show, put the right man in charge, you get the right results. So
yeah.
Before I
you
get
hosted it very well, mate. I was very impressed.
Before I get kicked off the channel for good by our overlord Matthew, I'll just say thank you for giving me the opportunity to host such quiz. We will be back very soon. Hopefully, will Johnny make a comeback, or will Ben come out of the shadows? Who knows?
We'll wait and see. We will wait and see. Oh well, Dom, thank you very much, mate. That was that was very good. I'm very sad that my Tash came second, but
well, I did everything I could, mate. I tried to lift you up. I'm a supportive guy, but
I know, but
wasn't it?
It just means it's got to stay until until
it wins. Till it wins.
Until it
That's
wins.
it. You've said it
Until
now.
wins, it'll stay. So,
just very quickly before we move on, obviously we got this super chat before. I just want, big thank you to Patrick for the donation, but not to usurp you, Ben. I just do think it's worth us having a quick chat about it.
I was just about to come onto it, Johnny, before you interrupted me.
Well,
so,
he's ahead of us. He's ahead of us. What can I say?
Go on, you take it, mate. Go on.
Well, no, I wanted to get your opinion as well, Ben, because we're talking about your man, Big Corey. Obviously, he's currently the club captain, and I know in the past we've had differentiation between who's the club captain and who's sort of on the field captain, and we've had sort of various leadership groups and things. But at the minute, it seems to be a pretty old school. Just Evans is the captain, full stop. But I mean, for me, I'm happy with Evans. For me, he gets the edge over Bailey Wright, if for nothing else, just from the fact that he's on the pitch more often. Evans seems to be not nailed on as a starter, but in that first choice 11 when he's fit, whereas Bailey Wright seems to be seen as a bench option. So for me, aside from anything else, you want your captain to have a voice on the pitch. So that brings Evans above Wright for me. Ben, have you got some some vocal thoughts on Corey Evans' captain?
Look at him. Look how he's sat there. He's like,
Look, as the proud president and CEO of the Corey Evans fan
listen
club,
to him, man.
Look, I think bottom line for me, your captain has got to be on the team sheet every week when he can be. That's just a minimum. People say the captain's the best player or all of this, and is Corey Evans the best player on the team? I don't love him that much, probably not. But is he the most?
He had to say that through gritted teeth, didn't he? He was like,
I did, yeah. I did. I think, is he one of the more steady / dependable players on the pitch? Probably, yeah, at the minute since Neil's come in, I think he is. When he gets stuck in the midfield, you know what you're going to get from him. That traditional number 6, standing in front of the back 4, knocking the ball about, calming things down when it needs to be calmed down, can pick a pass if needed to. He's got that game management knowledge of how just to keep the game going in different situations. The only thing with the captaincy is I think we've got a lot of leaders on the pitch anyway, sort of in all different areas. So maybe where Corey Evans lacks in your maybe traditional captaincy is in barking in people's ears, saying, look, come on, get yourself together. I think maybe other players might provide that. Maybe Danny Bart. Yeah. And I think it's, you've sort of got one each of the whole sort of players on the pitch when you're talking about formation. So you probably have maybe Danny Batt, for example, in defence. You got Corey Evans in midfield, and then we see it a lot with Pritchard. He's always chatting, always in people's ears, always trying to expect the best. So I think it's more than just Corey Evans being the captain. I think there are a few people that do take the role, but like you say, Johnny, I'm the proud member of the Corey Evans fan club. So for me, he might not do some things well as a captain, but I know other people in that starting 11 or on the bench are going to be doing what he's not doing. So, I mean, Dom, what do you think?
All jokes aside, right, I thought Corey Evans on Saturday was unreal. The fact he was just... I didn't think it was Corey Evans on the pitch. He looked like a reincarnation of like prime Xavi out there, just flicking balls over everyone's
side. Yeah.
Hey.
No.
That's something that I should say. Not you, Dom. Blimey.
Yeah. Well, honestly, he was sending people to the absolute chops, mate. It was a thing of beauty. It was just almost every time Corey Evans got the ball, he seemed to send a man. God knows when he did it, it just looked so... It was like Embleton out there. I know this is crazy. I can't believe I'm actually saying this after last season's agenda, but we kissed and made up, so it's fine. I'm allowed to say whatever I want about him now. It's just... I think when it comes to leadership, you do, like you say, you want your captain to be vocal on and off the pitch. Whether there's people who might be better for the role, I don't know. A lot of last season, I said it should be who I'm president of the fan club for. I thought it should have been 09 last season, but I do believe Corey Evans is the right person at the moment to be captain. Just never give it to someone like Honeyman ever again, and that'll do me. What's a Red and White Army podcast saying? I think Corey Evans played seriously well on Saturday, and Pritchard is amazing in this league. Yeah, I think that's spot on, to be fair.
I think the last point on the captaincy thing from me as well, you both kind of touched on it in terms of like what is an ideal captain or a traditional captain. And like you said, Ben, we've almost sort of got like one of each of the, in my opinion, sort of three types of captain. You've got Bart, who's like the sort of hard-nosed, they'll give people a bit of a clip when they need it and sort of, sort yourselves out. You've got Evans, who's that like sits in the middle, reads the game, can sort of organise people a bit, calm head. And then you've got Pritchard, who's the sort of like almost like the talisman type captain, like Steven Gerrard, where it's like he'll inspire people by getting the ball and just going, right, here you go, have a 40-yard pass straight in behind the defence on the Ellis Sims's right foot or something. Do you know what I mean? Like you've kind of got, for the first time, I think maybe ever, while I've been watching Sunderland, all the way through the spine of that team, you've got big characters who'll stand up in games and they really look like they've got, like a really good sort of, obviously leadership, but they've got a really good personality running through that starting 11. You've got players who you feel have got a bit of backbone, which it's been a long time since I've been able to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we're a bit maybe gone overboard a little bit on time, but I'm going to try and fit in one more question. What was that? Donate through Super Chat and we'll make Ben shave. Well, I don't know. See, Hanny, put that comment up. Whoever's got the control, put it up. My man Hanny.
No.
That task moment. Hanny's always been a supporter with me back in the day when Sean and I were doing our live streams with Shane and Brad, as someone called us. So there we are. Hanny, thank you very much.
Shagging man, Hanny, Steve Agger.
So I'll ask one question in a bit of detail, and then I'll quickly get a couple of score predictions for the weekend. But we chatted a little bit about this before. Obviously, it's 5 games in now into the championship. We are just had our first loss, obviously, on Wednesday, down to 10 men. Johnny, I'll start with you, mate. What do you think of how well we've done since we came in? Do you think we're riding a bit of luck, or do you think it's just Alex Neil doing a job? Do you think we should be probably higher in the league? As a couple of games we play, you probably think we should have taken six points from 2 of them games. What are your thoughts on how we started?
I mean, it's positive, isn't it? It has to be. We've said it a few times. We've competed in every game. Don't look out of place. And I expect to see more of the same against Stoke, to be honest. I think I was listening to Roke Report put a little podcast out speaking to a Stoke fan, and they were talking about sort of like where they see their weaknesses at the minute. I think they were saying that, so they play like a 3-5-2, similar sort of system to us. But whereas a lot of our strengths come from our wide players, so Gooch and Clark as wing backs offer us something going forward. And then obviously we've got Sims, especially with quite a lot of physicality up front and Stuart obviously in the box as well. But like we really have like quite a good focal point. Whereas for them, their first choice wing backs are injured or otherwise unavailable. So with that in mind, I think I'd expect us to play. Obviously, Dan Neil will be missing, but you think Corey Evans will come straight back in the side for him. So I think we'll set up pretty similar to how we've set up, and I expect us to play in a similar way. I'd like to see us hold the ball a bit more and try and make use of our qualities. We've got Clark, we've got Gooch, we've got Pritchard, Embleton, Roberts, if he comes off the bench, all these players who sort of thrive with the ball at their feet. And I think if we get on the front foot early and play the game in our way and don't let them settle and start dictating it to us, I think we've got a fantastic chance of getting 3 points. In terms of where we should be in the league, I think we're possibly slightly below where we deserve to be points-wise. But I'd expect over the season it to even out a bit. And I think, we can't expect too much. So first season back. So with that in mind, like I say, I'm quite positive actually going into tomorrow. I think we'll put a good show of ourselves forward, and as long as we can, make the quality show where it counts, I fancy us to take 3 points actually.
So go on, Johnny. Score prediction. What are you going for?
I'm gonna go 2-0. I think. I'm feeling confident. I feel like we've got enough going forward, and I'm just desperate to see this first clean sheet. I think that'll we need that to settle us a bit. So I'm going to go 2-0. I don't care who scores or how they go in, as long as they go across the line and into the net, I'll be a happy boy.
Okay, Dom.
What
do you think? Start the season and score prediction. What are you saying?
I think I agree with both. Is that it will even out come the end of the season. Like, we can't expect to win. No one wins every single game in the season, and we shouldn't expect to do that. We are on paper the worst out of the promoted teams because we finished the lowest. So anything that is above scrap and survival is a massive plus for me. So the fact that we are looking at the fact that we could perhaps push for mid-table is a massive, massive thing for us. I think anyone said if give us like 10th at the beginning of the season, most of us would rip your arm off and say, absolutely. It's like you should keep all your doors open, all your options open. I think obviously you want to be optimistic about everything, but out of every game we've played, I think we've been in every single game. I think realistically on another day we'd be on 3 wins, 1 draw, or 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. There hasn't been a game so far in the season I thought, we look completely out of our touch. We look like an established championship side. So going into tomorrow, I'm quietly confident. I think that we should have enough to do the business. Obviously, Stoke are a world famous team for being physical and hard to go to. If you want some stats, we haven't won at the Bet365, as it's called now, since 2012, courtesy of a James McLean goal. We won't go into that. And a Robert Huth red card.
In the snow when the game almost got called off. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
We last beat Stoke in 2015 thanks to late Patrick Van Aanholt and Watmore goals at the Stadium of Light, where the weather was also appalling. What are the stats have I got written down? They've only won 1 game. Thank you, Ben, for telling me that before the show. Yeah, thank you. Cheers, Drago.
They did take a last-minute point against Borough. Was it against Borough the other day, I think?
I believe it was
midweek.
Borough.
Yeah, 2-2. Yeah.
Bit of a smash and grab. So, I mean, that's a good result for them because Borough are fancy to be one of the teams up the top this season, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. When you think, though, that obviously you said 2-0 and we all want that clean sheet. We haven't kept a clean sheet in 7 games. So we're just hoping one door in the door of seeing if we can open that door to a clean sheet. It's what you want, but you never know. Hopefully, I think we have enough to do the business. I don't care, like you, Johnny. I don't care how we score them, as long as it's worth the trip. 3 points in the bag, absolute limbs. Matthew Windmill. No, I'm joking. That's just me. That's me getting excited. That's me getting my hopes up. I think 2-0 to the mighty Black Cats. Happy days.
Well, very, very optimistic, the both of you.
Come on!
I think the only thing that I'm thinking of is, have we put too much energy in midweek to be able to do the full 90 in,
especially down to 10 men?
Yeah.
See, this is the only thing that's in my mind. I think Stoke, they've got a few injuries like us. Nick Powell, Cam, one of their more creative players, is injured. Josh Tyman as well. Yeah, Laurent in midfield, big strong lad. He's injured as well. So I'm a bit more optimistic going into this, knowing that a couple of their players are injured, even though they do have, a bit of quality already. Look, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to go 3-0.
Oh, hang on a minute.
You've just Uno reversed us there. You saying, I'm a bit worried about the legs from midweek. 3-0. Let's go. How are you, lads?
Let's fucking have it.
Look, like some other people on our channel, we like to be positive, right? So let's be positive about the football club that we love. And why can't we? Why can't we be excited about it? We might have knackered ourselves in midweek.
Because Speakman
we're going to go out and get 3 points.
Do you know what, Ben? You've made us believe it's 5-0 to the boys tomorrow. How
why stop at 5? Let's go for 10. Let's break a record.
Yeah.
Come on. The batteries. Come on, boys.
When you see Sim scoring in the first 20 minutes, just
first 20 seconds, mate. First 20 seconds. That's it. Blow him away.
Straight from kickoff, he's just going to shoot.
First minute would be fab, but no.
So if you're a gambling man, never take advice off Ben Carr because you will go bankrupt.
I might put I'll put a couple of quid on it tonight, and we'll see for tomorrow. Hey, just you all way.
When you can't afford tea tomorrow, you know why.
Pints on Ben if it comes off, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't even drink it. I still.
Oh dear. Well, we've had an hour and 32 minutes of good bit of fun tonight.
We have fun, don't we?
The return of the quiz. Thank you, Dom, for the quiz.
My pleasure.
I've got so many other things we could have talked about tonight, but I thought I'd just park them aside. We've already been on an hour and a half.
If Speakman invested more, we'd probably have more time to play with.
And on that bombshell.
Yeah, and on that bombshell. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, or if you're catching up during the week. Thank you for being here this evening. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've had a laugh. We all certainly have. So from Dom, from Johnny, myself, and my Tash, good evening. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next week.
Come on.
How are the lads?
How are the lads?
Well, lads. Do you want to play the video, man?
I forgot the controls.
I'll do it.
I don't have the controls.